Okay, I was so angry this morning. And anger is one of those emotions I do not like. And here's the reason why. And I'd love to hear the reasons why you don't like this emotion, anger. Most of the time. Sometimes we like it because it benefits us, but most of the time we don't like it. Because here's my reason. Because my anger rarely comes out. I have a lot of guilt when it does. Because it tends to always be on my kids. And as a mom, you're probably going, yeah, I know, me too. And as a dad, you're probably going, yeah, I know, me too. And here's the reason why. Because first of all, we're in pain. One way or another, whether it's a physical pain or emotional pain, and that pain is somehow attached to a trauma, or could potentially be attached to a trauma where we are expressing ourselves not as our authentic self, because how we show up is not who we are. And that causes us a lot of guilt and shame and resentment and anger. Some of us don't recognize that we are the one in total control of it. Even in the moment, yeah, sometimes we do lose control actually, but it's like exercise, right? The more you exercise this muscle of restraint and this muscle of, okay, I got this, what was it? Anger management. What's his name? Adam Sandler. He was going, to calm him down, right? So kind of like the same thing, but going back to our own stuff. A lot of us, if not every single person, at least every single person I have met, has trauma, right? Whether it's from childhood, adulthood, young adulthood, wherever. We all have trauma, okay? And when it's not dealt with, not faced, not confronted, not healed through, and a lot of us do that. A lot of us do that. If not everyone, to at least a certain extent, where we believe that we are healing, but we are really not, because we are just barely scratching the surface, so to speak. And that anger that we feel, it comes from someplace. Whatever we feel, there is a reason why we're feeling that way. Emotion and the feeling is simply a flag that comes up and says, okay, I'm here. Look at me. Let's talk. Let's communicate. And we haven't been taught to see what we're feeling as that flag and say, okay, wait a minute. What is going on here? Why am I acting or reacting this way? What's really happening? Right? Not everything needs to go into the past, right? To the past. Some things are the things that you are already working through, which is in the present, and they just need to be refreshed, revisited, because our old habits perhaps are slowly starting to creep in. You get what I'm saying? So then what happens is when that emotion comes up, you gotta work through it. You gotta question it and see where it's coming from. So example for today, I was so angry. And I was angry that, first of all, that I was feeling like crap. My body is sore because I have been neglecting it. I have been, I don't want to say abusing it, but I've been exercising. So, and not taking care of it in the way of food. I have this thing where I don't have much of an appetite, especially in the mornings, and I wake up really, really hungry in the morning. So putting those two together, you're really hungry in the morning and you have absolutely no appetite. Everything that you put in front of your face, you want to go, right? So that's where I wake up in the morning like that. And I know after some time it'll go away because I'm incorporating a new routine. But anyways, so feeling like crap. And then you guys have kids. So you know that they have magical powers. They have really magical powers to help us to bring up what's inside of us, these powerful feelings and emotions that we don't like, but we don't fully know why. So they're helping us to pull out these why reasons we don't like it, but it's not so clear. It's like a riddle. So you got to figure out this riddle that is inside of you, that is you. So they have these magical powers to piss us off, to points where we are no longer ourselves and we are no longer in our body. We're like floating somewhere up above and don't even realize what's happening, right? No, everyone is alive, don't worry. That's not what I'm talking about. Just getting angry in the moment and raising your voice to a point that you are not comfortable. And that's not who I am. That's not how I do things. So it causes me to, because I have a process of how I do this, right? And I help women do the same, to go in and basically just work through it and get to a solution. So my solution was, okay, this shit show needs to end because I'm not the only one who's running it. I'm not the only one in this house. I'm not the only one responsible for everything in this house. So everything for me goes back to the boundaries. So that's another thing I help women and men do. Mostly I work with women, moms. So for me, it was back to the boundaries. Boundaries of, why are the lunch breaks not on the table? Right? Why do I have to empty them? These are questions, but I don't ask questions like that to my kids. This is just what I'm asking myself, right? And clearly stating what they are responsible for and that boundary that needs to be set, that this is your responsibility. You are doing this and you are responsible for remembering to do this because it is no longer my responsibility. You are old enough, mature enough to do this, right? But I do it more like, do you think you can do it, right? Is this something that you can incorporate? How can you make sure that this is part of your everyday routine until it becomes a habit that I don't have to remind you? How can you take me out of this equation, right? That's how I talk to my kids. Anyways, so that's just the two things, right? And then they have other chores and they have other responsibilities just now that they've gone back to school. So the schedule and routines have kind of shifted and flipped upside down and sideways. And the three of us, because the husband, he's just been going to work. For him, it's been normal. There's no changes. But for me and for the kids, it's a lot of changes because they've been home for this whole entire time practically. So it's an adjustment, and a family is a unit. The unit that we don't always choose to be together, but it is meant to be together. Because each individual in this unit, one of their main jobs is to help you grow And that means a lot of discomfort, a lot of things you'll be working through, a lot of stuff will be coming up for you that you cannot blame them for it, because they're simply kind of like a guiding light in the way. They are our teachers. Everyone in the family, no matter how old they are, no matter what species they are, even our cats and dogs are our teachers. They piss you off, same thing applies. So that was my morning, and it was, my thoughts were going in a direction where this is going to be a shit day. This is going to be so horrible. That's it. I'm going to be sad all day. And then my period is coming. I'm like, oh, that's it. The whole week is ruined. And I'm like, wait a minute. The coach in me goes, shh, wait, Yana. You know where this is going to go, right? You know this thought process, where it leads. Yes, I do. Exactly where you're saying it's going to. So, do you want to stay that way, or would you like to do something a little different? Different. Okay, well, what? Oh, fuck. Let's just go do a video. Right? Another thing that I've been not avoiding doing, but thinking, oh, that's okay. People don't need to know. They know all these things. And then as I sit down and start doing the video, and I'm speaking my insides out, so to speak, and I'm hearing it. And if I was hearing it where it was a few years ago, to me this would be like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. But fuck, is it going to be hard to do? Right? I can't do it. It's not for me. But eventually I would. Some days I still feel like that. That's why I'm here to tell you that just because it might seem or feel like other people are doing it better than you, that does not mean that is the truth. It does not mean that it is the truth. Other people struggle just like you do. And some people struggle even worse. And some people are so used to the struggle that to them, it is just how life is, right? So there's different levels, and everyone is capable of change. Everyone is capable of at least changing their perception of the struggle, if not entirely, you can't fully entirely eliminate it, but to a point where it just comes up and you're like, oh, it's like when you walk into the elevator and you know that somebody was in there that just farted, and you instantly know, oh, okay, this is what it is. So it would be like that your emotion would be kind of like a fart in the elevator where you walk in. I like to use this, I don't even know why these examples come to mind. They just, or come out of my mouth. But I like to use examples that are potent and strong and memorable, and potent and strong and memorable, right? I'm sure many of us have walked into an elevator where somebody has farted, or you have farted and left and thought, oh shit, these people are gonna smell it. Right? Come on, you've done that, right? At least as a kid, right? Anyways, so eventually it would get to a point where it would be like that fart in the elevator where you sense it, one of your senses, or you smell it. Something is happening. I'm not myself. What is it? And you instantly know what it is. And you instantly know what to do about it. Like you have the whole entire matrix solution in front of you, right? So that's the end goal. And that is self-mastery. All of us are here to master ourselves. So I have been doing that since the day I was born. You have been doing that since the day you were born. And you will continue to do it. It's just a matter of what kind of, how do I put it? you're gonna struggle through life regardless. You're gonna have hard times regardless, right? But you gotta choose the struggle. You gotta choose the hard times. And most of us choose the easy way, right? Which means not dealing with what's coming up, not doing the actual work, not working through that feeling or emotion, and just continuing with the day. Right? You gotta understand that working through it means, pardon my language, but you gotta fucking pause. You're feeling off, you gotta pause. Just put it this way. If you're really hammered, you're not gonna get behind the wheel until you are able to, which means until the booze is out of your system. When you are under the influence of yourself, of your feeling and emotion, the same thing. Initially, it might take you a little time to work through, especially if you're doing that on your own. With a coach, much quicker, right? I'm a coach. You need help with that? Reach out to me and we can chat. But you're more than capable of doing it on your own, right? You can also find a buddy or an accountability partner, so to speak, that is as equally invested in your success as you are. Which means that whenever you need to work through something, that they will be there for you no matter what. They will find the time and they will be there for you and help you through it. And chances are you might be doing the same, or they might be getting it somewhere else. So going in a circle might not be the best, right? As in, like, you help them and they help you. But they need to get that help and support somewhere else as well. Everyone does. So, and work through it. So that's what it means, is that when it comes up, you gotta sit with it and you gotta work through it until you get to that solution. And if you don't, that's fine. You'll just continue to experience the same exact feelings and emotions and not get to that self-mastery where it comes up and you're like, oh, that's what it is. Comes up, that's what it is, right? But it takes time to get there, right? You didn't learn to walk in one day. You didn't learn to talk in one day. You didn't learn to write in one day. You didn't learn to read in one day. You didn't learn how to express yourself in one day. Many of us are still learning how to do that. From the day we were born, we're continuing to learn how to express ourselves. What I'm saying is, we are all mastering ourselves in all the way that we possibly can as we go through life. And that's where you gotta figure out what part are you trying to focus and master yourself on right now, right? Maybe you start a new job and you're trying to master that, right? Maybe you got a new puppy and you need to master that puppy. Potty train, I don't know, all that kind of stuff, right? So, and I realized, I'm like, I say right a lot. How many times have I said it in this video? Like, these are called filler words, and I am clearly still learning how to express myself without the filler words, right? And is a filler word. This is me kind of now at the end getting to this point where I'm thinking, how many times have I said that? How many times have I said that? But what I don't do is I don't go back and count it, and I don't go back looking through it. If you want to, go ahead and do it. I'm curious, but I'm not that curious. And all the filler words. If you want to have fun, go ahead. But for me, I feel like here's the thing. Same thing with emotions as well. Sometimes all it could take is just an acknowledgement of this is what's happening, this is why I feel this way, and that's it. And there does not need to be any other steps after that, right? Just like with this video, the next step could be I can go find out, but I don't need to. My next step would be, now that I realize and I caught myself on these other words that I use as filler words, I will be more aware of it. And with awareness, it'll happen less and less and less. Right? Right? But sometimes the word is actually very fitting. Isn't it? But there's another way to ask it. Anyways, so with that, I feel like I've already said everything. I'd say that because there's now just like really, like when, the way that I would describe is how I can tell that I am done speaking and saying all the most important things, is that there's this sense of calmness that comes over me where I'm just like really relaxed, and I can just sit here and stare at the window and not care that I'm being watched. You know what I mean? It's that kind of feeling that you just no care in the world. And that, my friends, is the goal. So find a way how you can get to this goal where you were in one place and then you use the tool that helps you the most to get to this sense of calmness and stillness, that you feel enough, you feel whole, you feel zen, you feel like you don't give a fuck, right? In the best possible way, where it's like, it was just a tornado outside, you'd be like, oh, a tornado. Shit. I think I should go and hide. Right? But it wouldn't be that slow process, because if you see a tornado, you'll be like, okay, now, time to wake up, and you go. That's the destination. And that's where everyone can get to, no matter what you're going through. It is just a matter of time, because it is a process. And everyone has almost the same process, but a little bit different, right? It's just the wording about it. That's it. I'm done talking now. My alarm is telling me time to go. If you like this, please share it or send it to someone that you know is going to benefit from it, because not only will you be doing them a favor, you will also be doing me a favor. I put this information out there to help as many people as I possibly can to heal through their pain and suffering and their traumas faster than I did. And it is possible. For me, it's been, you do the math. I don't want to do the math. I was 22 when my first trauma happened, and now I'm 35. And only now would I say I have healed from that trauma. And that was the loss of my twins. Anyone wondering? That knows a few things about my traumas. And it has taken me this long to fully heal to a point where I can talk about anything and everything, and in a way that I'm so grateful that it happened, and not feel horrible over saying it, because I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So that's it. Now I'm done talking. Until next time. Bye.